Well, what's going on, guys? Right here. Oh, it feels so good to be back on the bike. Oh, I tell you guys, with everything going on in my life these past few months, it feels so good to get out of winter and get back on the bike. 2019 has sucked so far. It started on Christmas last year, 2018. So at the end of last year, going into 2019, it has just sucked. So this is not a video that I've wanted to make. And I knew I was going to have to make it at some point, but I didn't expect that it was going to be this kind of video. So this is an update video about my mom and her issues that she's been dealing with as far as alcoholism. Well, we just got news that she has cancer, and it is terminal. It is inoperable terminal cancer. So see how that's what I mean. That is not the type of video that I wanted to make out of this update video for my mom. But on a lighter note, we are riding today with Matt, my buddy Matt. He was in a couple of my videos prior. He had an R3 like myself, and he upgraded to an FZ1. Beautiful FZ1. So we're both doing big things this year for 2019, even though it's kind of sucked so far. But let me explain what happened at the end of last year. My wife's uncle, not by blood, but he had been a part of her life ever since she was a baby. It's my father-in-law's best friend. He died on Christmas. We were opening presents, and I get a phone call from my father-in-law, but I was in the middle of recording, so I was just kind of like, I'll call him back in just a little bit here. But then something gave me a funny feeling, and I'm like, I should probably call him back. So called him back, and he, I could tell he was crying, and he asked to speak to Ashley, his daughter, my wife. He asked to speak to her, and so she started crying, and I'm just like, oh man, what happened? So she gets up, goes in the other room, and she said, just with this expression, like blank expression, was just like, Mark died. And I was just like what? No, no. And God, he was such a good person. He's gonna be dearly missed. Yeah, it's, that, just going into 2019 after that happened, it's like, man, 2019 is gonna suck. So first, I feel like I should give you guys a little background who aren't familiar with the situation. So for about 10 years now, my mom has been an alcoholic, and we don't know, what started it, what happened. It just happened. My dad is a functioning alcoholic, which means, he can get up, go to work just fine, not have a drink. But the moment he comes home, he has to have a drink. And he works 12-hour shifts, so he's got a long day at work, comes home, drinks rum and Coke until he goes to bed, gets back up in the morning, goes to work. But he can't go a day without drinking. And he doesn't consider himself an alcoholic. He just thinks that it's something that he likes to do, or that he enjoys. But we asked him if he could, go a day without having to pour a drink, and his not excuse, but his I guess response was, well, why would I want to go a day without pouring myself a drink? It's relaxing. It's something I like to do. So right there, he's a functioning alcoholic, and with the alcohol in the house, my mom didn't have a chance of not drinking anymore. As long as there was alcohol in the house, she was always going to drink, always going to hound my dad for alcohol and everything like that. So I can't tell you how many times she's been in and out of the hospital because of drinking and alcohol. She went to a few different health rehab facilities to get her body back to where, you know, she could walk and everything again. And, you know, each time we'd bring her back home and it would be a revolving cycle. And then finally this last time in 2018, my mom was in this really nice place that was taking good care of her, and it was like having mom back. You know, it was like having mom back. She wasn't drinking. You know, we would go visit her and, you know, be able to talk to her, have awesome, nice conversations. But my dad couldn't see keeping her in there. He felt like, I feel like Matt's going to want to pass here, yep. Woo! 113 real fast. But so my dad felt like, you know, he couldn't see keeping her in there, you know, just because of the fact that, you know, she looked like she was back to normal. So my dad made the decision to bring her home, and, you know, we had told my dad, like, you know, look, Dad, as long as there's alcohol in the house, you know, Mom, you know, isn't really going to stand a chance. You know, especially while, you know, she's hounding you for, you know, something to drink and everything like that. And what is this car doing? What are you doing? All right, so now that y'all got some background, and some of you know, what's been happening with my family. But again, better part of like 10 years now, my mom's been an alcoholic. So this last time she was at this place, we brought her home. She starts drinking again, and she starts going downhill, downhill, downhill. You know, not getting up off the couch, you know, feeling really weak and, you know, sluggish, and, you know, it was just a revolving cycle. Oh, that's cool. Old truck. But, you know, it was just a revolving cycle again. And it had gotten to a point where, like, Mom was just not looking right. And, you know, I told my sister, I'm like, man, Mom doesn't look good. You know, and I told my dad, you know, and my mom had been complaining about chest pain for a while. But she said it felt like, you know, she pulled a muscle or something, maybe crawling into bed or something like that. So this time she found a lump on the middle of her chest, right here, right in the middle of her chest. Found a lump, and I don't know how long she'd had it, but she didn't really tell my dad until it like really started like growing. And you know, so now she's got this like pretty good sized lump on her chest, and my dad starts freaking out because his sister died of breast cancer, and that's the only thing that he could think of, you know, seeing that. You know, he goes, you know, seeing that lump and everything, he's like, I'm just so scared that it's, you know, going to be cancer. And it turns out it was. And so the first results that they had gotten back was a blood test and some scans. And they said that Mom has I don't know, dude. We'll go this way. He wanted me to lead. I'm like, I don't know this part of Burlington. And like this, like, I don't know where we're going here. But the test came back that my mom had congestive heart failure. And, you know, so that really started freaking me out because I'd looked up, you know, the symptoms and, you know, longevity, life expectancy of people with congestive heart failure, and it was not good. It was not good at all. But, you know, more people, you know, in the family was saying, you know, it can be treated. It's something that's treatable. You know, it's not like how it used to be. So that gave us, you know, a little bit of hope there, you know. Gave us a little bit of hope. And, oh, man, this train is really going to screw us up. So screw it. We're going to go this way. We got no place to get around this train. So I kind of have a feeling that we're going to have to wait this train out here. So anyway, I feel like I'm getting way off track here. I'm sorry.
I know where we're at now.
Okay.
We're gotta go that way.
Yeah, that train. I was just gonna go around until we wait for the train to go.
Oh.
But yeah. Oh, okay.
It'd be a good place to bring your boy. It's an RC track.
Oh, okay.
There's a track in the back of it.
Okay, a buddy of mine comes here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, the track's right there.
Nice. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. Oh, dang. Oh, dang. Nice. Yeah, guy at work, he says he comes out here and, you know, does it like with his kid and stuff. Yeah. How's it going?
Good, how are you guys?
Good.
Beautiful day finally, huh?
Yeah, finally. All right. I'm sorry, guys. This vlog is all over the place. My God. But we got to see a little cool RC indoor track there. All right. So now that we're somewhat on the right track, where was I? They gave us the news that my mom had. They gave us the news that my mom had congestive heart failure. So we got that news, which that freaked me out because it didn't look like there was a good prognosis for that. And then we got the news that, oh, nice bike. We got the news that, right by the cop shop. Oh, man. But then we got the news that she had cancer. The doctors finally said that she had cancer. They didn't know what type it was, but they determined that from the blood work. What's that guy covering his ears for? They determined that from the blood work and then the scans. And then, so we had to have a meeting. My sister texted me and said it's not good. Mom has cancer. And I was just like what now? Like, first the heart failure and now cancer. So like nobody told my dad. We were gonna wait for the doctor to, you know, kind of have that meeting with my dad. So, you know, everybody who gathered for this meeting, like, we knew what we were in for. We knew what we were in for, but my dad didn't. I mean, I think he had an idea. But so, you know, the doctor said, you know, there's no easy way to tell you guys this, but Mom has cancer. And he goes, it's in her breast, it's spread to her bone, the lymph nodes, her brain, her aorta. And, you know, we were just like, the moment the doctor said it had spread, I was just like, what? Like, what? I felt like it was like an out-of-body experience. Because, you know, my sister, when my sister said it was cancer, she said that the doctor thought it was breast cancer. Which I was like, okay, breast cancer, we can fight this. We can fight breast cancer. But when he said that it had spread and everything, like, everybody was just really thrown off at that point. You know, everybody was just really thrown off, and you know, he said, look, chemo could work. I've seen stranger things happen, but chemo, it could work. So that gave us some hope there. My mom, she was transferred to a regular room, and this is where her memory, her short-term memory, was really like not working correctly. I mean, it's not there. She doesn't have like a good short-term memory at all. And so, you know, the doctor, we had to go to the hospital with my mom and tell her that, you know, like, Mom, you have cancer and everything. And the doctor was explaining all of that to her. You know, doctor was explaining all that stuff to her about the cancer. But then later on, because the doctor, you know, told us, like, look, she's got a decision to make. whether she wants to fight this and get, she'll get sick, but she could fight it, or if, she's just going to let it go. But, originally, my mom wanted to fight. That was her number one choice. She said, we're going to fight this. But then a little bit later, we were in the room and she was like, so what am I fighting? What am I doing here? What's going on? And so, me and my sister were like, well, Mom, you have cancer. The doctor was just in here, kind of explaining everything to you. And she was like, okay. But then every day after, she didn't remember she had cancer. So the short-term memory was really bad. She didn't remember anything, which could be a good thing. It could be a good thing in the sense of how would you, waking up every day knowing you have cancer and everything, whereas she just doesn't remember. She'll wake up and she'll wonder why she's in the hospital, or why she's now she's in hospice, because that's when we got the other news from the actual chemo doctor. That's when we got the other news from the actual chemo doctor, that it was inoperable. It was an inoperable tumor, and it's a very aggressive cancer. I forget what the type of cancer it was, but it was a very aggressive cancer that they've said they've seen it, get taken away, but this cancer is just everywhere, so they weren't able to operate on it. And the chemo doctor said, look, at this point it's like too far gone. So he said that he wouldn't even do chemo at this point. He said that they could do radiation just to help shrink the tumor that's on her chest from growing, because the tumor is what's really causing her pain. So they said they could do radiation to help shrink the tumor, but then also at that point she would be put in even more pain because of the radiation. So it's it's been about 3 weeks now, but for the past 2 or 3 weeks, it was just all this bad news piled on top of another. And then to make it worse, the chemo doctor said, she was telling my sister, you're going to want to start making hospice arrangements and eventually funeral arrangements, because he told my sister that in my experience I'm going to be giving her 1 to 6 weeks, and we're going on about 2 weeks now. So any precious time that we have with Mom, we're going to use. And it's tough because later on in the day, that's when her medicine really starts kicking in. And her medicine starts kicking in, and then she's just really out of it for the rest of the night. So we really try to get up there earlier in the day, or early in the evening, before they give her final dose of pain medication, because there's that's the only thing they could do, just give her morphine and I believe it's oxycodone. So that is why I have been pretty quiet here, guys, for a while now. It's because, just with all this bad news, with all this bad news, that wouldn't have been good. God, that was not good at all. But with all this bad news, I just haven't wanted to go out and make any videos. And I've gone through a bunch of different processes in this grief process. I've gone through all kinds of the different levels of grief, trying to figure everything out. But that's just why I haven't been around a whole lot. So that's the update on my mom. And I was thinking about doing a live stream you know, to really, I don't know, get you guys an idea of like what's going on and make it, you know, real more personal. But I've cried so many tears in the past 3 weeks that now, I don't know, I feel like I've accepted it. You know, it's gonna happen, and I don't want Mom to be in pain anymore. So I've accepted it, but I've cried so many tears, you know, throughout this process. But yeah. Woo. That's why being on the bike, a little bike therapy, helps so much. Oh, bike therapy is, it's wonderful. It is wonderful. So until next video, guys, get out here and ride. I love you. Thank you for all the support that you've shown me through my announcement on Instagram and on Facebook. You know, I just want to thank you guys so much for the support that you've shown. I didn't tell anybody that it was terminal yet, except for some real close friends. So this is the news. And this is probably a very long vlog because of how much I was getting distracted and just all screwed around here. So I apologize for that. But I hope you enjoyed the video, or this depressing video as it was. But we're going to be back. And you know, as soon as we can get this all behind us, then the healing will really be able to start. But part of my healing starts on the bike right now. So until the next video, guys, get out here and ride. Ride safe. It is really becoming the beginning of the riding season here in most parts of the country. So ride safe. Keep a good lookout on your buddies. Keep a good lookout for yourself. Don't get hit. I love you guys. Bye-bye.